Welcome everybody. Today's video finds us over here in Lopburi. We're a couple hours outside of Bangkok to the north, and what brought me over here today is to take a look at, I don't know, probably a 12th or 13th century Khmer Prang that's right here. We're going to look at Prang Sam Yod, which is the three towers. These are quite cool. They were built probably during the reign of Jayavarman VII, whenever this area, Lavo is what they called it, Lavo Pura, was under the Khmer realm. Anyway, it was, I think, purpose-built to be Buddhist. Jayavarman VII was, he converted from Hinduism to Buddhism, and so all the stuff that was built under his reign was built for Buddhism. Anyway, this is a really spectacular ruin. It was expanded under the reign of King Narai in the, I think, 17th century or so, whenever he used Lopburi as his, mostly like the 9 months out of the year capital. He moved it from Ayutthaya over here because he didn't like to be in Ayutthaya, and then he'd go back there for 3 months and do king stuff. Anyway, let's walk through here and let's kind of enjoy this. I'll tell you a little bit about what I know. We're right here next to the railroad tracks. Over there is a humongous Hindu shrine, and then this is all of Lopburi. The train station is right over that way, and then there's across the way there's another really cool Khmer site that was expanded and modified under the Ayutthaya era, and then all of this is Lopburi. And what I'm not seeing a single one of is monkeys. So they've been really making an effort to come over here to clean up the monkeys. They've been tranquilizing them and then neutering them so they can't have any kids, and then they're hauling them off to a sanctuary. They'd overtaken this area. There's so few monkeys that when I came here in November, they canceled the monkey festival, the monkey feast. So this is the site, and this is just looking at it from the south. We'll take a look at it where we see all three prongs here in a sec. Now this is a pay site, so it's 80 baht if you want to come in here and see just this site, or it's part of 6 places you can go. Wat Mahatat, the Summer Palace, the Ambassador's Palace, and a couple others that's part of a temple tour, and you can do that for 200 baht. So you can see here, so this has the pediments. Now the lintel has been replaced, and it's the Bayonne styling is what you can see around there. And then the pediments there are all uncarved, and you can see some of the elements up above with like the little naga and all of that. But it's made out of the laterite stone. You can see these people over here doing their little photo shoot. Now there's a building over there, and then there was a building here that is on the west side of these 3 towers. It's really, really cool. So this site isn't overly large. You can come over here and see the whole thing in 30 minutes to 45 minutes or so, depending on how long you want to take. Yeah, so you can see that is the pediment. And again, there's no lintel here. There's none on any of these 3 doorways. And then you can see the use of the laterite. And then they would have put a piece of sandstone. You can see it up on the center prong right there. That would have been a lotus flower up at the very top. And then you see the Buddhist elements all through there. And you can see they have the cages on all these entrances to keep the monkeys out, which I don't see a single monkey in this whole area. They were climbing all over these buildings over here before. Now they have people up on top there. And I don't see any on the fronts of these buildings or any out on the... This is amazing. Yeah, the monkeys were just terrible here. They were like, I mean, you'd be walking here and they would just jump on you. And they would like try to steal your stuff out of your bag. They would go to the bathroom on people's heads, do all kinds of stuff. But they've really taken care to clean them out of here. So you can see here the size of these. These were humongous laterite stones they brought in to build the base. And then that used to be an entrance, but now it's blocked off. And then you can see how they have the little walkway connecting the 2 buildings. And then you can see up at the top, it has a little ridge right across the top. And those are like little pointed pieces of stone that resemble like an unopened lotus flower. And you can see this has been all restored here, this concrete. And you can see a little bit of the sandstone doorway. And the same, they bricked off these windows over here. And then it would have been covered in plaster. And it would have been all redone under the reign of King Narai. Then over here we have a small little wehan that would have been open towards the east. This is the east here, and then you got a boneyard here of some of the pieces that were broken and too badly damaged to use and not good enough quality to move into a museum. So these would have been the columns around the door right here, and it would have been carved in the shape of an octagon. Then you would have had pedestals like this right here, would have had an image in it, pieces of laterite stone, another pedestal, and then these huge columns that would have been around the door would have held up like the lintel, and just other various pieces here. And then this little hall here. So over here, this would have been the platform for the monks to sit on when they did the chanting. And then a really large Buddha image here. It's kind of in pieces, but you can see most of it is still here. They used a piece of laterite to hold his arm on. And you see the trunk had those holes drilled. So they drilled the holes in, and then they could have affixed the arms and the head and everything using some iron. So over here, this is the northern entrance. Instagram Central right now. All right, let's go over here and let's look at this hall. This one here was one that was purpose-built under the reign of King Narai. And you can see that because it has like a lotus flower archway above the windows. And that was this styling that he used. But yeah, what a cool site this is. And you can see some more of those little unopened lotus flowers there. And then you can see the contrast. So they go from the laterite, oh, this is kind of cool, right into the brick. The Khmer, the Sukhothai kingdom, they used a lot of the laterite, while Ayutthaya used these bricks. They would build like a kiln nearby, fire these, and then they could transport them easily. And they were easy to use. They could carve them, and then they'd put plaster over the top of them. It's not as a durable material, but it was easier to use. And it was cheaper than quarrying it and bringing all these big stones in. All right, so there should be a Buddha image sitting inside of here. So it looks like they've built a little place here for a shrine so the locals can come and pray. And then you can see here, this does have like a true arch over that window here. And then you can see the Buddha sitting right there. Yeah, that's a cool look at the Buddha with the prong right behind. Now, when this was in use, this would have been covered. You wouldn't have been able to see the prong from inside of the building. And they got these chairs set up. So they'll be doing a ceremony here for King Narai. And they brought in this statue here for him. And got some of the guys dressed up in the period costumes. So you can see they have two pieces here. And you can see how they carved that sash over the chest. And then this one here is in pretty good shape. You can see the head is kind of cracked and the top knot is missing a little bit. Yeah, really, really nice. And the people have stacked some bricks up on the top of that one. All right, so let's go inside of here now. You can go in. They have the gates to keep the monkeys out. And when you used to come here, you had to carry around a stick to chase off the monkeys. But it hasn't been needed at all. And you see all the locals, all the gals are dressed up and having the best time here. All right, so it has the little Lodi right there. So this has been restored. The lintel's been completely replaced. You can see the metal bands holding it in place. And then all that is new concrete in that pediment. Yeah, back when this was built, this would have all been hand chiseled. You can see how weathered that is. So that is the original piece there, while that piece has been replaced. And the metal door wouldn't have been here also. Yeah, this lintel is new, also uncarved. I think you can see these in the museum over at the King Narai's palace. They have some really nice artifacts in there. So here is where they would have had a Buddha image in here. So these had a little notch that would have went right down in there, and that would have been carved at the base of those so that the image wouldn't move. And then they had other ones sitting around on these little platforms. And what's cool is this right here. So these would have been up on the prong. These are those little corner pieces of the prong. All right, so let's walk through here. So they put this faux ceiling in to keep the bats down. And then this is the little walkway that connects the towers. And you can see they put those bands in to put that doorway. And then some more of the little carvings. That's what they say is the Bayonne styling. And then it has the little images down at the bottom. So there are still bats in here. I can see them all zipping around, and you can see them up there on the ceiling. Yeah, there's probably 100 or more in here. And then they had another Buddha image right here, and it's missing. And then the other little platforms and stuff all through here. All right, so this is the center, and then this is that other little walkway. And they have another one of the pieces of the column. And then these are all new bricks here on the floor. And then a headless Buddha, but it's in pretty nice shape. And you can see this would have been carved. This was the Naga that would have came up behind the Buddha. Really nice. And then some more of the little pieces for the door jambs that would have held up the lintel. And that would have been carved, would have had the image. And then they would have had double image in here. You can see another head, a headless one. And you can see where the head would have been mounted right there. And then some other little various pieces around in here. And then you can see there's about a dozen bats right there, the little tiny ones. And more over here. Yeah, they're just waiting for evening, and then they'll go out and do their business. Here you can see them just hanging out here. Yeah, if you're scared of bats, don't go into any of these old temples like this. All right, so that's pretty much everything here at this temple. Let's go outside and take one more look at it from the side. All right, so I see the first monkey, one monkey over there on that building. Yeah, they've been able to come back in here and revitalize this. Even the grass is alive, but when there was so many monkeys here, this was all brown and dead and nasty. Now we can just come over here and enjoy this. So you see those little corner pieces right there? That was that one that was inside. And these are the three towers here. Really a fantastic structure. Well, that'll finish up our video over here at this Prang Sam Yod. This is a fantastic site. This is, like I said, probably 800 years old or so, late 12th, early 13th century. It was restored many times. The most important restoration was done by King Narai, where they added the buildings to it. This is a really cool structure. You don't see too many like this. There's another site nearby that was Hindu, while this one was Buddhist. But you don't see too many of this in the area. I think there was probably more back when this was like the regional capital, but all of it had been destroyed and replaced and reused and stuff like that. And so a lot of the history has been lost. It's near the train station. It's also near the Wat Maha Tat, which is the biggest site here in Lopburi. So if you're over here, come over and do a walking tour. You can walk the city of Lopburi pretty easy. And I would say definitely come over here and check it out. It's 80 baht to get in, or 200 baht if you buy the multi-site pass. And it's worth it if you're here for a short time. You can check it out and kind of enjoy it. And if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and you get to see some more stuff like this. And if you have any questions or comments, ask me down below and I'll do my best to answer them. And subscribe, you get to see more of my travel videos and all of that. And until next time, from over here in Lopburi, remember, life is a journey. So until next time. Enjoy.
Planning a trip is always stressful, but Yesem takes one of the stresses out. Open the Apple Store or the Google Store, search for Yesem, install the app, and then you can search your plans. They have regional, they have country specific, or they have worldwide, and you can have pay-as-you-go plans as well. Installing the app is super easy. First-time users use the code ENDLESS25 with a capital E, and it will save you up to 20%. It takes about 3 minutes. Just follow the simple instructions. You can activate the plan immediately or upon arrival. Then all you simply do is open up the settings, turn your line off, turn Yesem on. You can check your balance at any time through the app. And then when you're at the airport, just simply walk by all of the eSIMs and enjoy your holiday.